Okay, week 4, lesson 1. I want to dig into some modal playing. Modes are something that I get a lot of questions from a lot of students about. And it's a lot of fun to fool around with modes. I do some, I don't do a ton of it, but if you're interested in modal playing, I want to get you grounded and help you understand how it really works. And again, I told you before that diatonic scale patterns were the holy grail of understanding the fretboard. Well, they're the holy grail of understanding modes as well. Each one of the 7 diatonic scale patterns can be thought of as an individual mode. There are 7 different modes. In fact, the scale that we call major, if I were to play a C major scale, it's really a mode called Ionian. Okay? And this is, people just think of it as major, but then they start talking about modes. You already know how to play a mode if you already know how to play major. If you know how to play minor, we're playing in the Aeolian mode. So you already know how to do at least something with modes. Okay? Each one of the other modes, all 7 modes, are contained within the 7 diatonic scale patterns. And the way modes really work is, if I have, let's say, a C major scale pattern, okay? If I play that pattern starting on the note C and ending on the note C, I'm playing in the Ionian mode, the C major mode. If I play those exact same notes of the C major scale, but I start on the D note and I end on the D note, I've shifted to Dorian mode. If I start on the E, but play nothing but C major scale pattern notes, I'm playing Phrygian. Okay? And it goes on with all the modes like this. Every one of those 7 modes is contained within your 7 diatonic scale patterns. Alright? So I want you to understand that, first of all. The second thing, I want you to understand that while it's easy to think of each one of those 7 diatonic scale patterns as one of the modes, that's a simplified way of thinking about it. It works real well. It's very handy, very common for people to play it that way and to think that way. But in the long run, if you really, really want to dig into modes, if you want to get up there with in the leagues of Satriani and Steve Vai and Eric Johnson and all those kind of guys, you need to understand that by playing all up and down the fretboard in a key, you can then change that key to any one of the 7 modes. For example, if I want to play up and down the fretboard in the key of C major, and I fly all over that fretboard, but I keep focusing on the note C, it's going to sound like C major, C Ionian. However, if I play all up and down the fretboard, using all those C major scale patterns you've learned as the 7 diatonic patterns, but I keep focusing on the note E, I keep beginning phrases on E and ending phrases on E, it's going to end up sounding like the E Phrygian mode. So all of the modes are contained within the 7 diatonic patterns, and it's just how you begin and end phrases and how you phrase these things. Okay? That's the basic understanding of modes. There's a lot of information right here on this page that will explain the modes. I used the key of C major because it's an easy one to deal with, but I've shown you the 7 different patterns and how you might think of them as Phrygian or Lydian or Mixolydian. Go ahead, dig into it, but in the long run understand that each of those patterns is not the only place to play that particular mode. You can play that mode in all 7 patterns. It takes a bunch of work, but if you're really into it, you'll get there. Have fun.